And the big collision at the net sends everybody flying.
The new pegs is
Ewan and DeBrusk.
This is the second time they've met in preseason. Big Louie gets loose. And the linesmen are just saying, hey, let these guys wear themselves out. Preseason. He gets that hand loose. Ewan made a pretty good play to control the puck, Sam, and then to move in and have a scoring chance. But in doing so, he crashed into the goaltender. And I think that's where Big Louie DeBrusk got a little upset. Here's Ewan making, now look at the puck rolling. He's got to kick it ahead. Makes a nice play to take it and get the shot here. Ooh, boy, that was Louie DeBrusk that came back and flattened Ewan. And they got up and decided to get out.
And finally, DePuzzo and Collins move in, and things settle down. Randy McKay, who came over from Detroit, Louie DeBrusk, heads into the penalty box. We'll be right back.
That was the original penalty, and then here you see McKay and DeBrusk get after one another.
What? Gudinchuk plays it up the board.
Big hit and a penalty.
Behind the net. Martin Lapointe. Here goes Loisel after him. Starts the fight. Lapointe pounds on Loisel. Loisel is going to get an extra 2 for initiating the fight. Lapointe will get the original for slamming Gudinchuk into the boards. And, you know, I think that not to start him. Well, he scored a goal. He sticks his nose in. He plays well defensively. It's going to be awful hard to keep this kid out of the lineup, boy. 10th overall in the NHL draft, first by the Red Wings, and you may see him next Thursday. 4-1. Gudinchuk was kind of facing Lapointe, but look at Lapointe. Boom, right there. Now that's the one assuming is going to be the 5-minute major that's up there to Loisel, the extra 5-minute major. Probert stepped into McGuire. Look out. Probert took a swing at him. Now there's Gauthier in the middle. Are they going to go? They are. Look out. McGuire's a tough kid. Probert decided to try the left that time. And he knocks McGuire down. But McGuire certainly stepped forward, didn't he? Well, he tangled with Probert. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a game here at Joe Louis Arena when McGuire played for Buffalo. We'll have a look at how it all gets started here. Probert sort of looked. He saw McGuire coming to give him a shot. McGuire didn't mean to hit Probert. He knew he wouldn't, but Probert stepped around Mark Paré. Okay. Tony Amonte. Corey Millen on with Doug Weight, and now we've got something going. Huscroft and DeBrusk.
DeBrusk was clipped, I think, by Huscroft. That upset DeBrusk, and he went right back at the Devil player. It looked like Huscroft came down with his helmet on top of DeBrusk in the head.
That was intentional or whether the momentum of his falling down.
It'll be interesting to see what's called.
DeBrusk going off. Second scrap he's had in this game. Kevin Collins is motioning toward the Rangers bench and now talking with Paul Stewart.
But watch here is... Oh, yeah, that's a headbutt. That's a flat-out headbutt. And that could warrant him. Definitely used his helmet to hit DeBrusk across the head, and that has to be at least a 5-minute match penalty, Sam.
We've seen a couple of those now, John.
Now they start to go, and you'll see as Huscroft takes down DeBrusk by knocking his feet out. There's the helmet coming down. I don't know if he caught DeBrusk purely, but
on the boards, tied up. The puck is loose. Over for it is Dean Ewan, and there he goes with Louie DeBrusk. That's their second scrap.
Ewan has tied up DeBrusque's right arm by grabbing up about around the shoulder. See Ewan's left hand holding DeBrusque in his right hand. Now DeBrusque is getting frustrated. He wants to get loose. And credit Ewan for being smart here. He's going after one of the toughest. DeBrusque could ever get that right hand loose. He can't. I mean, he just can't.
Things settle down. 12:39 to go. Second period. And DeBrusque and Ewan go off. We'll be right back. And joins James Patrick in the penalty box.
There's an offside play here. There's DeBrusque and Ewan. Those have been the only two that seem to want to tangle in this game. It's, in all seriousness, it's been kind of tame for an Islander Ranger exhibition game. They've had a couple of scraps that haven't.
Pilon with a big collision with Chris King, and they square off, drop the gloves.
I think Chris King's trying to pull the helmet or visor off Sam before he throws a punch. He can't. See, he's trying to rip the helmet off. It'll be interesting to see if there's an additional minor here to Richie Pilon. Pilon's had an eye injury in the past, and he doesn't need to get popped, I'll tell you that. Remember, they squared off a little bit earlier in the game. They had some words.
This big collision behind the net.
And Chris King just missed a haymaker there. Interesting to see if there's an aggressive rule, considering one person had a visor. What puts the line? 16 and a half minutes into the second period.
I've been calm. We'll be right back. Forrest off the shot by Scaldi. Rangers will open the regular season. A week from Thursday night, we've got a battle along the boards.
Fiorentino
and Randy McKay.
McKay's second scrap. McKay over the top and underneath.
McKay's still trying to go, winging away.
Hey, linesmen letting them wear themselves out, aren't they?
McKay's got some stamina.
Not anymore.
That's it. 2:57, the time of the penalties. We'll step out for a moment. Rangers have a 3-2 lead. Fiorentino and McKay go off.
Two players meet up along the glass. It tempers players somewhat. Major penalties apiece. 5 minutes apiece for fighting. A cut, or at least he was hit above the right eye. Terrific news as far as what could have been something very serious.
4:24 remaining in the third period. Rangers leading 4-2.
DeBrusque and Vakota. Here we go. You can see it on
Round
base.
three.
Round three for DeBrusque. Round one for Vakota.
Now DeBrusque went earlier with Ewan.
Vakota not as big, but is obviously tough. Ooh, it looked like a headbutt.
Yeah, DePuzzo motioned to him.
That, I think, flared up the temper of DeBrusque. He then just threw Vakota down. Todd DePuzzo indicated immediately that there was a headbutt by Vakota towards Louis DeBrusque. And that would necessitate a match penalty, if that's what they call. The players will be gone. There's 4:20 remaining in the third period. For DeBrusque, that's his third scrap, which is it's a misconduct penalty along with the major. The head of Vakota. Does he jump up towards? Yes, he certainly does. He tries to put the forehead into DeBrusque. DeBrusque was yelling at DePuzzo, and DePuzzo motioned immediately. Many men on the ice for about 10 seconds, but didn't get caught as Chris King and Al Stewart were going at one another.
There they go. This is Koser and Stewart.
This is Joey Koser's first test of that hand. He had surgery on it. He's already landed a couple. That's 3, that's 4. Stewart comes back. There's a big right hand. Koster throws haymakers. Stewart's hanging in there. Stewart and King were pushing and shoving Sam, and then King went off. I think Koster then lined himself up with Stewart. That tests the right hand, I'll tell you that.
And he's checking it. It may hurt a little bit, too.
Stars. Joe Sorella for the Rangers. He cleared it out across the blue line. Donnelly got knocked down, and now we've got a scrap out at center ice. Rod Buskus getting into it for the Kings. And might be Doug Waite, the rookie for the Rangers. No, it's Chris King, number 19. Waite is 39. This is Chris King, number 19 for the Rangers, and Rod Buskus, the first scrap of the night. Chris King throwing some right hands. Now they break him up, and there you get a good look at Chris King of the New York Rangers in his 4th year in the NHL. We'll be right back. Kings lead it by 2. As he gets into a scrap with Rick Bennett of the Rangers. So they're grabbing each other down in the corner. Now, a few right hands by Thompson after he pulled off Bennett's helmet. Jim Thompson of the Kings and Rick Bennett of the Rangers. Jim Thompson, 121 penalty minutes in New Haven last year in 26 games. So, without a fight for 2 full periods, we get tempers flaring here early in the 3rd as Jim Thompson, in his 5th year in the NHL, he was a number 9 pick by Washington back in 1984. He goes into the penalty box. He's played with Washington, Hartford, New Jersey, and the Kings. And there you see Rick Bennett in the penalty box for the New York Rangers. Bennett, a number 4 pick in 1986.
The boards and glass, though, and Simon comes muscling in with Wheeldon. 3 aside now, and losing sight of it, Mark Fawcett, so play once again halted. Oh, Kushner in close, and you saw that one up close, where a Capitals fist came through.
Little helmet banging going on there. It looked like Kush landed a couple of lefts on Ken Sabourin's helmet. Sabourin was acquired for his muscle. But towards the end of last season, when the Flyers played the Caps, we didn't see Ken Sabourin really use his muscle that much. Wonder if things will be different this year. I want to take a moment here to remind everybody that there is no truth to the rumor that the Flyers are sold out. For just 100.
Bourque trying to set it up for Byers. Byers checking Pilon, the puck back to Bourque. Ooh, there it goes Dakota. Here's Byers and King. Oh, and
okay, that's 2 on Byers. Now,
Dakota will be gone. Sure he will.
Dakota tried it. I watched for Dakota with Byers out there, and he was the only one. Byers drew all this attention from 3 of the more aggressive Islanders. Lyndon Byers is alone in this. And I tell you, and Dakota came from nowhere, tried to attack Byers. Byers saw him coming. Then Pilon jumped Byers. And then Dakota, while he was tied up with Pilon, jumps Byers from behind. But LB, I can handle the toughest. I can handle the best of you. Paul Stewart. Byers was attacked.
Both felt that the team at many occasions intimidated last year and maybe outmatched physically. So they want to be a bigger team and more physical.
Pilon comes in late.
We haven't seen it.
Keith Primo gets the line, and Chelios took him off the puck. Good play against a much bigger man, and then Chelios got knocked down, and Keith Primo will take a bad penalty here for Detroit.
A step on Chelios. Chelios went for the move, but recovered nicely. Seemed to cross-check him a bit. Primo took exception to it, and then just drilled him with a left. Chelios went down. Primo went to the bottom.
Big and right to goaltender Darren Pupa. And play is stopped now as Pupa has possession of it. And now here's Rob Ray taking a shot at Mario Lemieux, and Jimmy Pack comes in and grabs him. Jimmy Pack just reached in and pulled Rob Ray right off Lemieux, who came in to give him a whack from behind. And Jim Pack right in the middle of it all.
He saw what Ray did. Now Ray's acting like, what did I do?
Rob Ray and Jimmy Pack battling one another in front of that net, and now they go down. Well, the one thing Paul Stewart has, he had a good line on it. He was sitting right there. He saw everything happen, and we'll see what he dishes out here. And he had his jersey off again at that time. He must try and flip it up to get it off him. Intent to injure. And they have several criteria that they can use for that.
Rob Ray doesn't really have really long hair.
Getting a little short here in front of the Flyer bench.
Horacek going after Nick Kiprios. Horacek coming off the bench after the play on a line change after Kiprios nailed Kartner behind the goal. Horacek came out on a line change, went right after Nick Kiprios.
Ron Hogarth right there. It'll be interesting to see what the penalty calls are. Horacek has scored it off the ice, while Kiprios is sent to the penalty box.
And in.
Brought it back in. Here we go. Featherstone and Dakota.
Dave Rakota could fight, and so could Featherstone. Featherstone got a couple in. Rakota got a couple in. He knew that was coming. Rakota, very good defensive fighter. He's going to tie you up, wait for his chance. Featherstone got in early.
Now, initially, it was Brent Sutter.
Upset.
Goals and 4 assists, but he can fight.
If fighting was what you like, he's obviously one of the ones to watch.
Oh, Matt Hervey, I think, ran into a Vakota, right? Didn't he the other night?
Right hand.
His division this year, he thinks you'll need 80 points or a 500 season to ensure it. And here we go. Alan Kerr got his stick up with Craig Berube. And I think these two know each other from the Patrick division.
Alan Kerr had a serious eye injury last year. He wears a shield, but his shield has been knocked off. And here he's on the receiving end from Craig Berube.
I think one of the reasons the Leafs went after Berube was the acquisition by Detroit of Troy Crowder, already having Bob Probert. I wasn't sure Alan Kerr would also figure in, but Kerr is the first to test the new Leaf tough guy.
Berube went right after Kerr, and Kerr's a gamer. Not as big as Berube, but he is in that 200-pound range, so I guess he'd be classified as a heavyweight. Agent, you knew the rest of the Norris division would react. There's Kerr. He's bothering Berube from behind. And watch Berube right here swing a stick for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 5 fight. For Toronto, Berube. 2 minutes.
Once again for the...
He got help from Jimmy Carson. Probert have something going, and Lemieux just got speared right in the gut. Here comes Stu Grimson to challenge Probert, and Probert, then Grimson are slugging a big left by Probert, and now he and Grimson are standing toe-to-toe, and then Probert looked like he got in a big right hand. But in that sequence at center ice, Lemieux collided with Probert. They exchanged shoves, and then Probert speared him right in the gut. And I think it went undetected by the officials.
I don't know how it went undetected. Fraser was looking at them. First the high stick into the face, then the spear, and then Grimson came over with Lemieux looking like he was in trouble. Grimson, known for his role as an enforcer, and that's what he's out there with. Lemieux gets high stick first, then he gets jabbed in the inside of the leg, and he's limping and in trouble, and he wanted to get on Lemieux, and then Grimson came, and they both flailed away, and then a couple of punches thrown by Probert, and Grimson went down. I think his legs buckled on him, not because of a punch, but just off balance. That's the right call. Grimson did instigate, so he gets that 2 and 5. But what happened was that Probert got away with a high stick and a spear, No.
He's going to get a penalty under one of the new rules this year. He went into that colored area in front of the net. Now we get a fight breaking out in the slot. Jay Miller against McDermott of Winnipeg. Jay Miller and Paul McDermott. And Miller knocks McDermott down to the ice. But the penalty, at least the original one, is going to be to Dave Taylor. They are going to claim that he was in the crease before the puck went in there. We'll come back and take a look at it. It's tied 1-1.
Penalty for interference. After that, Paul McDermott and Jay Miller of the Kings went at it in the fight. Jay Miller receives an extra 2 minutes, so the Kings will be...
Underneath the pile.
Cote trying to knock Shel Samuelson out of the pack. Brad Jones being pulled off by Bondra. Lawler in there also. Voracek's right in the middle of things, along with Kartner and Alan May. Voracek out there the last few seconds of play to start something like that. But Alan May gives him a few quick rights. Both guys going off to the bench. The game.
Fitzgerald lost his...
Vercoda and Quintal. Stefan caught him a right. Vercoda's a little stunned, but he's still fighting on.
Well, that's good for Vercoda. One more and he's gone for the night.
Well, what you've got is Vercoda saying, right, I don't know what's going on here, but I mean, the Bruins are taking me man for man. I can't go through this whole hockey club. Somebody's got to help me.
And they'll be penalized. No score, Boston and the Islanders. First period on Nesson.
A little bit of a high stick. Stefan does not like that. Finishes his check on Vercoda, then a little chat. Now, do you want to go or don't you? Had enough of you. Okay, well, you want to fight? I'll fight. Okay, good. One tired puppy. His tongue is...
Martin Simard. I want to talk about this kid from Calgary. 4 years in Salt Lake City. Paid his dues down there, right? Gets a chance last night. He's in the game. Gets a tooth knocked out. The nerve is hanging down. Dennis takes him downtown, has a root canal, right? Root canal, they heard, I know. Back to the game. Second period, he gets back, has a fight with Boom, picks on a tough guy, and in the third period scores his first NHL goal. Good Montreal kid. You fair play commissioners, no Czech hockey guys, haven't driven all the men out. Way to go, Martin.
Flames won 9-2 over the pro. Anything happen?
Minor pro, is it? Minor pro. There was 6 teams then. It'll be the next 12. I come in here, folks. I come in here. I joined Spokane. We were the toughest. We had Mad Dog Manigan, Bill the Destroyer Savage, Sandy Stoneface Huckle. We come in here. I walk in. There's a big sign at the end. Larry McNabb, heavyweight champion of the WHL. So what happens? I know I'm going to have to take him on. Unfortunately, I had a new pair of gloves on. You understand? You wouldn't know it had. A fighter always has fast gloves. Get them off fast.
Old gloves, so I can have new ones.
Well, I came. I didn't want to start any trouble or anything. They give me new gloves. Anyhow, I know I'm going to tangle. We get going. I can't get the gloves off in time, and I'm one behind. I'm telling you, an alliance would get on my back. He's literally bouncing him off the ice up into my head. He hit me so many times on top of the head, he couldn't comb my hair for a week, but I put him out for 8 weeks. You know how?
No, how?
He broke his hand on my head, and he was out 8 weeks.
All right, that's nice. So we'll look forward to more of this in the second intermission of our game.
Now, right from the draw, here's Probert taking a big swing at the Hawk player that goes down in the turtle. Stu Grimson trying to take a hit for the team, and he did. Probert, it looked like he might have landed a big right, and Grimson never took his gloves off, and Probert now costing the Red Wings. After making a good play to help set up the lead goal, he now heads to the box, and the Hawks to the power play, and Grimson has a big welt on his face already. 3-2 Wings.
Bob Probert, 315 minutes in penalties last year in 55 games. Goes to the locker room. He drills Stu Grimson. Grimson went in the Turtle, but Probert was just hammering away. Grimson still without the gloves or stick down, and then Probert tried to gouge his eyes out after with the left, with the fingers, as Grimson was turned away from him.
5 minutes for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct.
Clears it, but we've got a fight breaking out between Cronin and probably Jay Miller. I think it is Jay Miller. Miller and Cronin. And they've separated them now. So with 12:16 to go in the second, the Kings lead it 4-2.
And the Jets number 44, Sean Cronin, 5 minutes each for fighting. And the Phillies, 7 minutes 44 seconds. Jason Miller and Jason Cronin, 5 minutes each for fighting at 7:44.
Baumgartner and Byers got to talking. Baumgartner come out there. Baumgartner is one strong boy. The uppercut from Byers is what he's trying to get.
Byers set up pretty good.
That doesn't happen often.
No, it does not.
Quite as often as Byers does, you're got to get hit once in a while. That won't be the end of that. They're out there balanced on a 16th inch of steel trying to hold on. There's one that landed.
Hasn't been cut yet.
Nothing happening yet. He's trying to get the helmet off, because if you can get that helmet off, then you hit him in the top of the head. That's just as bad.
And he may have butted him. He may have butted him.
He butted him with his own helmet.
Sure he did. Sure he did.
Teams are at full strength. The faceoff is to the left of Healy.
House of fans have had plenty to smile about tonight. Lots of action here in the home opener, and here we go. Right from the faceoff, Alan Kerr, his second bout with Mike Foligno. Foligno getting back into the lineup and showing his coaches that he would like to play on a regular basis. Tonight, and he scored a few there at age 32, showing the grit and determination. Rob Pearson. Here's how it happened right from the faceoff. Here they're talking, jostling. The puck drops immediately. Foligno drops the gloves. Alan Kerr quite willing to go with Mike Foligno. Here's Foligno fighting for a job with an 18-year-old rookie, and more than anybody else on the Leaf team, Foligno helping Rob Pearson make the adjustments, and I know Pearson is.
One thing the Islanders are doing very effectively, besides getting the Bruins to get off their game, as you see Hillier and Leach go down.
Leach gave him a couple of jabs, and then they got into a wrestling match. What you don't want to do is get into wrestling again and get yourself pull a muscle or something.
One thing the Islanders are doing, Turk, they're carrying out their checks. They're going hard to the Bruin, and not just bumping them or skating off. They're carrying that check out and taking him right out of the play. And at times hitting him very hard while taking him out of the